Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to be speaking about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So I was never someone who was very interested in anything finance related, but this particular topic got me very interested when I found that two brothers from Durban were able to commit what was allegedly one of the biggest Bitcoin heists in history. And they did this at the mere age of 18 and 21. Sorry, the screen PowerPoint is not changing. In 2019, Rais and Amir Kaji founded a crypto investment app known as Africrypt. The company promised patrons that they could make small fortunes off of Bitcoin through their app. In 2021, both brothers claimed that criminals had hacked their platform, and not long after, both brothers and 69,000 Bitcoins worth almost $4 billion were nowhere to be found. So this story got me quite intrigued about what Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency actually was, and as well as how safe it really is. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today. In super simple terms, a blockchain is like a computer file for storing data. It's very similar to a database. The one key difference between a typical database and blockchain is how the data is structured. A database usually structures its data into tables, whereas a blockchain structures its data into chunks or blocks that are strung together. Each block has a certain storage capacity, and once it is filled, it is closed and linked to the previously filled block. These blocks form a chain of data known as a blockchain. Each block is then given a timestamp of when it enters the chain, and it cannot be altered or changed once it is added into the blockchain. The data structure inherently creates an irreversible timeline of data when implemented in a decentralized nature. So I mentioned that blockchain is implemented in a decentralized nature, but what do I mean by that? In blockchain, decentralization refers to the transfer of control and decision-making from a centralized entity to a distributed network. In more simple terms, the data in a blockchain is stored in multiple places, and decisions made regarding that data is handled by multiple users. This differs from a traditional centralized database because the records are processed by a central administrator. The goal of blockchain is therefore to allow digital information to be recorded and distributed, but not edited. Because of this, blockchain is the foundation for immutable ledgers or records of transactions that cannot be altered, deleted, or destroyed. This technology was first invented for the application and use of Bitcoin. Bitcoin refers to a type of cryptocurrency where users can anonymously transfer Bitcoins without the interference of a third-party authority, like a bank or the government. A cryptocurrency is basically a medium of exchange, like the US dollar or the South African rand. However, it is digital and it uses encryption techniques to control the creation of monetary units and to transfer and verify the transfer of funds. In essence, it's a digital currency that relies on the basis of blockchain technology. There are other types of cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin, like Ethereum, Tether, and I'm not sure about any others. So to recap, blockchain is a type of shared database that stores its data in blocks over a distributed network. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that is formed through the use of blockchain technology. And the most well-known type of cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. So now that we have the basics covered, let's dive into the security of blockchain and find out how easy it is to really hack. I mentioned earlier that blockchain is decentralized. Because of this, all the transactions can be viewed transparently, either by a personal node or through blockchain explorers that allow anyone to see these transactions occurring live. Each block has its own copy of the data within the chain, and this copy gets updated every time a new block is added to the chain. Bear in mind that the records within a blockchain is encrypted. This means that only the owner of a record can decrypt it to reveal its identity. And it's also how blockchain is able to remain anonymous while preserving transparency. Blockchain technology achieves its security and trust in several ways. To begin with, new blocks are stored linearly and chronologically. This means that when a new block is added to the chain, it is added to the back of the chain. After a block is added to the blockchain, it is extremely difficult to go back and change the contents of that block, unless a majority of the network has reached a consensus to do so. This is because each block has its own hash, as well as the hash of the previous block, and a timestamp of when it has entered the blockchain. A hash is basically a mathematical function that turns the digital information within a block into a string of numbers and letters. If the information within the block is edited in any way, the hash related to that block will also change. So if the contents of a block is ever changed, the hash related to that block will also change. The only way to alter the contents of a block is if the majority of the network has reached a consensus to do so. Therefore, in order for you to hack a blockchain network, a hacker would need to simultaneously control and alter more than 51% of the copies within the blockchain, so that their new copy becomes the majority copy, and thus the agreed upon chain. Such an attack would require an immense amount of money and resources, as they would need to change over half of the block's hashes and timestamps. So from what was said, we can see that blockchain is quite secure, and hacking a cryptocurrency will be fairly difficult. Well, for me at least. I hope this has given you a bit more insight into what blockchain, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin actually is, and a bit more information on the security behind it.